In this video, we're going to look at how to use the short-range proximity sensor. If you haven't looked at part 1 yet, you can view it by going to the JackBord website at www.jackbord.org and typing in the code TMT3NNDC at the search prompt and press enter. To start, we're going to use the digital output of the short-range proximity sensor. This is the black pin which goes from the sensor to port pin A2 on the JackBord. To set up port pin A2 to work with the sensor, go to the JackBord dashboard's command line and type in get A2. And what you'll see is that the A2 button on the top of the page in the terminal will go green. And this is because when there's no object in the range of the sensor, the output will be 3 volts. Now if we bring an object close to the sensor, the output will go red, which means the object's been detected and the sensor's digital output has gone low. The green detection LED on the back of the sensor will turn on when it detects something and turn off when it doesn't. The sensor allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the digital output. And it can be useful, for example, if you find that the detection light is on even if there's nothing in front of the sensor. To adjust the sensitivity, take a small screwdriver, place it in the variable resistor, and just turn it all the way anti-clockwise so it's not detecting anything. And then with your hand about 1 inch or 2 inches away, just slowly turn it round until the detection light comes on. And now it will work a lot better. So it's detecting my hand and realizing when I take it away. So if you start getting funny readings or the thing doesn't seem to work quite the way you think it should, check the variable resistor and make sure that it's detecting correctly. Now that we've got the sensor connected to port pin A2, we can use the button commands with it to allow us to have it control things. For example, in this case, the user LED. So what we're going to do is at the command line, type BTP A2 space L11. This means that when the detector finds an object or detects an object, it will turn on the user LED. And then the BTR command, so BTR, which is button release, A2 L10 will turn it off. So now if we look at the user LED, and I bring an object close, it will turn on. And when the object goes away, it turns off. And that's really cool because then you can do similar things with motors. For example, you could have it so that when it detected an object approaching from the front, the motors would make it drive backwards, that kind of thing. To use the analog output, we need to connect it to one of the analog inputs on the JackBord. In this case, we have the analog output going from the sensor to port pin A1 on the JackBord, which is an analog input. We need to set up port pin A1 on the JackBord as an analog input. To do this, go to the command line and type GVR space A1 space 0 space 100 and press enter. This sets up port pin A1 as an analog input, and it will scale a voltage reading from 0 to 3 volts into a digital value from 0 to 100. So 3 volts will be 100, 1.5 volts will be 50, and 0 volts will be 0. Having entered the GVR command, if we now go to the live page, we'll be able to see the values change in real time as we move an object closer and farther away from the sensor. And notice the values getting smaller as we get closer, and then as I bring it farther away, they get larger. Another good way to view readings from the sensor is to use a short program. To do this, if you go to the program page on the dashboard and click on the reference tab, and at the search prompt, enter TMT 3 capital N small n DT and press enter. This will take you directly to the program. the short-range proximity sensor program. You can simply take the code, copy it, and then paste it into the program window, and then click Save. Once you've done that, click on the Show tab on the program page, and then run the program. And what it's doing is it's showing you the values coming from the sensor. So now as I move an object closer, the bar graph gets smaller, and so do the values. And to finish using the program, simply click on the Quit button. So to summarize, the short-range proximity sensor uses an infrared transmitter to send a beam out and then looks for reflections coming back from objects. The stronger the reflection, the closer the object is to the sensor. The sensor has two outputs, a digital output and an analog output. The digital output is normally at 3 volts when no object has been detected. But when an object is detected, its output will go to 0 volts. The analog output is also normally at 3 volts. But when an object approaches the sensor, depending on the distance, the value of the analog output will actually fall until it eventually reaches 0, meaning that the object is very close to the sensor. The analog output provides a very rough way of determining the distance to an object out to around about 5 centimeters. You can find more information about the sensor by going to the JackBord website and entering the TMT code TMT4CHR at the search prompt and press Enter. In the meantime, if you want any other information or are just curious, you can visit us on www.jackbord.org.